A small voice spoke up to fill the emptiness in the air. "Grandma, will you tell me a story?" The old woman, with her soft face and fierce eyes, smiled. "Of course. What kind of story?" The child sighed. "A long one." "Well then, do I have just the story for you?" Have you ever heard of a place called Selvadorada? A long, long time ago, the people who inhabited it simply called it the jungle. These people lived a primitive, simple life in that deep, dark jungle. While the rest of the world raced ahead with developing technologies, they lived in natural shelters built from rocks and still congregated in tribes. One day, the chieftain of the Lemak tribe died mysteriously in the thick brush. Now, it was up to the people to choose their new leader. They gathered in the sacred space where they always did to discuss important matters, and they found a man named Kovu seated on the throne. He was the chieftain's youngest son, and he declared himself the new leader. Except his older brother Azlo wasn't pleased with this at all. He was the oldest. Should he not take over his father's reign? But Kovu was bigger and stronger and more well-liked in their tribe, so he did not back down against Azlo. Kovu of the tribe Lemak would take over as the new chieftain, and as they did back then, the brothers settled their dispute with violence, leaving Azlo the sore loser. He skulked away into the jungle, back towards his hut. He was enraged. He couldn't believe his brother had betrayed him like that. And in that moment, he vowed to enact his revenge. He just needed to bide his time. "Is that it?" The child looked up at the old woman expectantly, clinging on to her every word. She laughed. "Oh no, dear, not even close. There is so much more to the tale of the Lemak people. It's a tale that spans decades, eras, and generations, with many different players and faces and names. It is a tale across time. You see, as Kovu and Azlo feuded in the jungle, they had no idea what would become of their tribe and their lineage. It was beyond even their wildest imaginations what would eventually come to pass. Hey there guys, it's Blue Mouse Sims here, and you can call me Kara for those of you who don't know. For starters, I've been gone for a long time. We'll get to that eventually, but I just wanted to start off with welcoming you to my new series. As you saw from the intro, this is a history legacy. It is heavily based off of the history challenge, if you're familiar with that. The reason why I say heavily based on is because it basically is a history challenge, except I don't want to have to follow the rules. I'm not going to be keeping up with the different requirements for the generations. Oh, what is going on here? Just going to pause the game real quick. Violence is never the answer. Yeah, Kovu, that is so true. As you guys saw in the intro, this guy right here is Kovu, and Nika was just calling her out for how he handled the situation they were in. But anyways, back to introducing the series. Yes, so history legacy, we're starting with prehistoric, going on to early civilization, and I will actually be adding in a few different generations once we get into more modern times and kind of going a bit more like by decade, because I really want to hit on like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and 50s and all that. And yeah, we might even go into future times. So very excited about this new series, excited to be back, excited to be making videos again. I don't know where you guys are at right now. No clue when I'm going to release this, but from the point when I'm recording this right now, there's a coronavirus in the world, which has been fun. and I'm working from home for the foreseeable future, as I'm sure a lot of people are. And I have a lot of time at home right now, which is really great for me to get this done. Very, very fortunate to be able to work on this right now. And yeah, so here we are. We are in the jungles of Selvadorada, as I'm sure you guys are familiar with. And as you saw in the introduction, these are the Lemak people. That is the name of their tribe, Lemak. L-A-apostrophe-M-O-T. And this is their main kind of, not campground, but like their main like community where they live. And here in this lot, we have Kovu, who is, as you saw, the new chieftain of the people. We have Aya and we have Nika. And the other members of the tribe who actually live just a little bit down this way. They live down this path. Yeah, you can see their settlement over there. They are still part of our tribe though. But that tribe has Azlo. I'm gonna have to rename him because I've been calling him Azlo. Anyways, this guy who is Kovu's brother is the kind of the head honcho over there, although of course they all still do report to Kovu. But we have Azlo, Kra, and Ala over there. And so kind of what happened is that after Kovu took matters into his fists, quite literally, to settle the dispute between him and his older brother, not everyone really agreed with how he handled it. As we just saw, Nika kind of was one of those people. She didn't really agree with it. But her and Aya obviously decided to stay with him because at the end of the day, they do know that like he is a good guy and they trust him a lot more than they trust his brother, even if they didn't necessarily agree with how he handled the situation. So I'm just going to let this play out a little bit. I feel like first parts are always so difficult because I'm trying to like give you guys the background, all the details. So, okay. So you might have noticed just then that Nika is actually a teen. Let me pause real quick because I got to explain that. So obviously, again, historical times, things were very different. Let me just say, do not condone young adult teen relationships in real life, but this is not real life. This is The Sims, and this is the prehistoric times. And it is what it is. So don't read too much into it, guys. She is the youngest member of the tribe, I believe, just younger than Kovu. And then obviously Aya is a little older than him with, I believe Kra is our most senior member of the tribe. Obviously not senior in like leadership because that's our guy Kovu over here. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for this series. I've always loved history challenges and historical gameplay and like creating. Like I've loved creating this. I loved building it and designing it and putting in all the little details, finding CC for it. And I've loved, oh my God, touch me and I'll sue you. I've already booked a lawyer. She needs to calm down. Like that doesn't exist yet. I've loved dressing them. Like I've just loved the whole process. And I've got a lot planned for this, a lot plotted. It's going to be very story heavy. I will obviously do gameplay, but my primary motivation is storytelling with this series. And so I guess to expand on that a little bit, the way this will work is that initial sort of machinima we started with, that story, the story that the grandmother is telling the grandchild, that story will continue. Now, it won't continue with every single part because, of course, how would grandma know every single thing that happened? And even if she did, she certainly wouldn't be telling her grandchild all the dirty details, you know what I'm saying? And so this music is super, yeah, this is a low-key stereo, you guys. We're just gonna, let's put on some classical. But yeah, so that story will be returning. It will not be in every single part. I would probably die if I had to make that many machinimas. But it was a lot of fun. I'm excited to try something new. And I'm really excited for how... Oh, stop being so mean to him. He had to do what he had to do. Discuss world peace with her. Maybe you should go to a therapist. Maybe you'll change how you act. Wow. Y'all are really hating on my guy Kovu over here. And he's your leader, so just saying, watch out. We know what he's capable of. But yeah, so those little machinimas, keep your eyes out. I plan to kind of just intersperse them when I feel like it's necessary or called for in the plot to kind of move the story of what the grandma is telling the grandchild along. So really looking forward to those. And I don't know, I'm super, super excited to be back to this YouTube stuff. I'm really excited to be back to historical gameplay. Some of you guys might be familiar with my channel already and know that I had an upgrowth challenge that I was playing through. And I don't really have much to say about that right now. I'm not bringing it back anytime soon just because this is kind of my main thing right now. And this is what I'm really, really passionate about to work on. But I never say never, right? So I still have that save. It still works great. It hasn't like broken or anything. So I'm not jumping to any kind of rash decisions with that. All I knew is that for me at the time, it just didn't feel like the most fun thing. And it's just like, it's really hard to get back to a save after you've been gone for so long. So for those of you who were enjoying my upgrowth challenge, I hope that you enjoy this series just as much. We still got a little bit of that historical element. We'll have a little bit of that challenge aspect as we're trying to, survive with what we got here in the forest, the jungle. But I'm really excited. I hope you guys are too. And I feel like that kind of covers. Oh, look at her. Look, she's already forgiving him, blowing him kisses. This is exactly what I want to see. Oh, yeah, he's about to use this really cool piece of CC, which is a bush, but it's actually a toilet. Oh, neat. Yeah, we're going to get a lot of stuff like that on this lot. A lot of clipping, a lot of like weird, like this stuff. Just because, we're so limited with CC, especially for the prehistoric era. So there's only so much I can do. But it kind of adds to the fun of it. I'm just happy that I was able to make living in Selvadorada work because I feel like it's really good for immersion because you don't see like cars or any of that. Although I did download a mod called the Timeless mod by like Pandora Simbox or something like that on Tumblr, which is supposed to kind of de-modernize the other worlds or most of them. So we'll see how that goes. It looks pretty good in the other worlds for when we get to future generations and move out of Selvadorada. But for now, hoping that this Living in Vacation Worlds mod sticks to working because I have had a few weird bugs with it. So we'll see what happens with that. Might have to think of a plan B if we get to that point. But look at Kovu chilling in his throne, talking to Aya here. Let's talk about fishing with her because obviously that's a big part of their life. That is one of the ways they subsist. For those of you who are familiar with the history challenge, in the official rules, you're not supposed to obviously you can't have a fridge. So you're supposed to have a pond or you're supposed to go fishing and catch fish and then cook them on these fires that came with Outdoor Retreat. And so that is definitely an option for me that I'm going to use here. And obviously I gave them a fishing pond, but I'm also really excited to use the grill that came with Island Living because I feel like that's a more traditional style cooking. Obviously, probably not super accurate to prehistoric times, but who's really keeping track of that? And then I also have this tree over here, which is actually a refrigerator. You'll see at night, it looks kind of funny because it glows. But so this will be for quick meals and stuff. I think it looks cool and I think it's convenient. So we're just going to have that. Mostly I wanted to be able to save leftovers because these little meals in this grill thing always make so many servings. And once we start having kids and they become toddlers, it is so difficult to keep them fed. So having leftovers in the fridge will be a lifesaver. Looks like they're all just hanging out in their little sacred circle. I really am obsessed with this lot, you guys. Not to toot my own horn, but I spent genuinely 8 hours last weekend setting this save up. Getting everything in place, downloading mods, building all this stuff. It took me a long, long time. I'm really happy with how it turned out though. I just think it's I love these little skull things. I think it's so fun. And I have some big plans and I'm really excited. And so, Kovu here he is obviously eventually going to be mating with the women in the tribe. And so the way this kind of works is, obviously prehistoric times, they didn't like get married or anything. And that is actually an official rule in the History Challenge. You're not allowed to get married. And so we're not going to be doing that. We're not going to be like partnering up in this generation. And to make that like significantly less annoying for all of us, I did turn on I changed some of the MC Command Center settings about jealousy. So hopefully they won't get too jealous. Excuse me. Hopefully they won't get too jealous. So we'll see how that ends up working. It looks like he's got their attention pretty well secured right now. Of course, like they kind of have to because, he's kind of the leader, but he is also what you gonna say to him? Let's see. Oh, I didn't have a pop-up for that one. But obviously, like he is genuinely a good guy. Like he did, beat up his brother, but his brother's kind of crazy. So to tell you a little bit more about Kovu, oh my gosh, look, he's got a bad reputation. We got to fix that. So see, he's genuinely, literally, he is good. He's going to be a much better leader than his brother ever could be, just because, we'll get to know his brother in a bit, but he's good. He loves the outdoors, and however, he is a little paranoid. But that is because, his father died mysteriously in the jungle. And honestly, they're not even sure if he died because the body was never recovered. They don't have a burial spot for him. They were never able to solve that mystery. And like, look at this. Look at this jungle. Like, could you imagine their father could be anywhere? Anywhere. So, mysterious disappearance of his father. He's a little paranoid. And same thing with his brother. He knows that his brother wanted the throne, or I guess that's not quite the right word for it, but you get what I'm saying. He knew that his brother wanted to be the new chieftain, and he's got to watch his back now. Like, he doesn't really trust his brother. His brother's kind of erratic and just kind of an unsavory guy. And so I guess we can jump in and telling you about everyone else too. Aya here is, let's see, she has a slightly good reputation, but she also loves the outdoors because let me tell you, if you're living outdoors and in the prehistory generation, that's the best way to keep them happy with good moodlets. Pro tip. She's also neat, so she's kind of the one who's going to keep up around the place, and she's also very charming, so everyone always really, really likes her. And then for Nika, she is a teen. And she is a good parent and loves the outdoors. And she'll obviously get another trait when she ages up. But I gave her, this is a custom trait that I believe I got from like Kawaii Stacy or something like that. And she's always wanted to be a mom, and she's definitely kind of the mother of the tribe as well. Like, she's just very caring and is always looking out for everyone, despite, the ironic fact that she is the youngest. And so that is this half of the tribe. And let's see if we can go ahead and jump into the other lot with the other half of our tribe. Let's see. Yep, here we go. These are the only lots we're going to be using. Obviously our main lot. See, this mod has some glitches. So like this guy's on vacation in our home, so go away. So this is the main lot, obviously. This is the lot where these people live. And then we have a swimming hole over here that we can come visit. But I figured, prehistoric times, like there's not even much they can do. So there's no need to have a bunch of like community lots. So keeping it pretty simple. And one of the glitches I had was this lot totally got destroyed. So I had it a lot nicer looking, but a lot of the objects just disappeared, and I was really sad about that. Okay, so here we are, and we have Azlo, or Azlo. We're going to call him Azlo because that's his name. My bad on the intro. So Azlo is Kovu's older brother. He is the oldest son of the former chieftain, who is unnamed. And, all he's ever wanted was to be the leader of the pack, literally. He always dreamed of taking over his father's spot one day. And so whenever his brother literally ripped it out from under him before he could even do anything, That like really, really upset him. However, Azlo is not necessarily like the best guy. He's very erratic and unpredictable. So nobody ever really knows what's going to come from him. And to top that off, he's hot-headed. So he tends to be very angry, very easy to anger. And he's usually the one picking fights, not his brother. And on top of that, he's very self-assured. He's very overconfident. He's cocky. Not a lot can really keep him back. So everyone kind of, feels that Kovu is right and feeling a little paranoid about his brother. Now, we also have Kra here. And again, like I said, he is the oldest member of our tribe, which, again, not very old still. They're all pretty young, but he is an official adult. He's not an elder or anything. But so he's been around the longest in this tribe, and he was really good friends with their father, Azlo and Kovu's father. And he's also very traditional, which is funny because they're all traditional because it's the prehistoric times. But he's even more so traditional, and he really firmly believes that although he knows in his heart and his head that Kovu will be the better leader, he also can't help but agree that Azlo kind of deserved it as the oldest. So he is definitely in the camp that believes in that traditional role of passing it down to your oldest son. He doesn't believe the younger son, doesn't believe a woman should have those rights. So that's kind of why he split off with Azlo over to this other part, and they kind of established their own little area. And then we have Ala, who she is also an adult, or no, she's a young adult. Okay, yeah. So she's like kind of in the middle of the age group. And she went with Azlo for kind of a similar reason as Kra, but she also like her and Kra are kind of have been like partnered up in the past. So that's another reason too. Of course, again, no official partner. So I'm sure at some point she's going to have a baby with somebody that is not Kra. But that is kind of why she's over here with them as well. And they have a nice little swimming hole and like these little rock caves and a little shelter over here and their fire. And that is their lifestyle over here. And let's go back to, or actually, well, maybe we can hang out with these guys for a little bit. Kra's they're gonna talk about, maybe they'll talk about his relationship with his older brother, with Kovu. And, Kra is very much a neutral party and all this. He doesn't want to get involved. And Azlo, he really wants everyone on his side because he's got some plans brewing. Who knows what those plans could be? But everybody knows there's something. Everybody does. So they're all like just hanging on for the ride because who knows what's gonna happen, right? And I guess for Kra and Ala's traits, or Ala, yeah, we'll go with Ala. Kra is a self-assured, loves the outdoors, and a dog lover. So maybe they'll get a pet wolf or something of the like. And then Ala is a loner, a child of the island, and a child of the ocean, which really sucks because we're not on an island or an ocean. But being 100% honest with you guys, I actually downloaded Kra and Ala from the gallery. So they just came kind of prepackaged. That would have been great for a history challenge set on Sulani, though. Okay, let's actually jump back over to the main lot, just because I'm not going to really be playing with Azlo's lot too often, especially on camera. I might do stuff off camera to like get people pregnant and stuff like that. But obviously, we're mainly going to be following Kovu because he is kind of the founder of our legacy. Wow, it is getting late. They have got to go to bed. Okay, looks like they are still gathered in this circle. You know what, you guys? I know it's really, we're in part 1. It's so early, but I really want him to try and see if we can get one of these girls pregnant. So maybe I'll have him make a flirtatious joke to Aya because they have the highest relationship. And we're just going to kind of try, oh, girl, she's in his chair. That's okay. He'll let her for now. But yeah, so we need to have some babies. We need to have a lot of babies, actually. I haven't fully decided yet, but I am considering doing kind of like a upgrowth style dice roll situation. And like, if you're not familiar with the Upgrowth challenge, basically whenever the mom is pregnant, like about to have the baby, you roll a dice, and depending on what you roll, there's a chance that either the mom or the baby or both might not make it, which I feel like is very like accurate for these like more historical time periods. Haven't decided 100% just because that is kind of like a brutal way to play. Kind of scary. But I also think it kind of adds to the challenge. So we'll see what happens with that. And it looked like she was not super into his advances. So we're going to keep trying. They all think he has a bad reputation. That's definitely something we need to fix. I almost want to cheat it away because I feel like that is not fair. Because I just feel like, you know, they understand why he did what he did. That's like what people did back then. Like, I'm sorry that we don't agree with that nowadays, but like in the prehistoric times, like how else did people solve conflicts, right? I'm just going to make him talk about world peace a lot. Maybe they'll get the idea across. Going off of this, we're probably not going to get a try for a baby tonight. I'll go ahead and just put that out there. So maybe I'll call this a night. Literally, it's 8:30, 8 p.m. in Sims World. Maybe I'll call this a night for this first part. And we'll leave it here. And maybe on part 2, we'll be able to have a baby with someone or try for a baby and kind of get started on this legacy. Obviously, you can't have a legacy without kids and multiple generations. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm so excited for where this is going to go. I've got such big plans. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know if you think I should be doing dice rolls for mom and baby with pregnancies. And let me know what your theories are on what Azlo's plan is to get back at Kovu. And while you're at it, go ahead and throw in some theories about what you think happened to their dad. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching this. I honestly haven't been timing this, so I have no clue if this was like really long or really short or just right. But I had a blast showing you guys around, showing you what I've been working on for so long. And I'm just really excited for all this, and I hope you guys are too. All right, thanks guys. Go ahead and leave a like and a comment, and go ahead and subscribe if you aren't already. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye y'all.